Welcome to the fight game. It's Icewater and Puma, and we're going to talk about the Benavidez fight. And I saw the fight, and it seemed like the first 2 to 3 rounds, it seemed like Demetrius was, kind of hanging in there, and it just seemed after that third round that Benavidez just kind of just took over and just assert his will on Demetrius Andre. And it was like, to me, he was calling out Canelo after the fight. But for me, I'm thinking this is a dangerous kind of fight for him because he tends to really walk in. He'll take a shot. He says he trusts his chin. He'll take a shot and he's delivering it. But I don't know if you can do that against Canelo.
Yeah, you might be right about that. But in this fight, Benavidez kind of took his time. I've seen Demetrius Andre before, Boo Boo, aka Boo Boo, and he was very unorthodox, but he had a style that was kind of pleasing because he was not afraid. He was deliberate. He knew how to hit, get inside. But as you said, I think the he wore down, and we don't like to make excuses because people don't like excuses. But when you think about it from the standpoint that he had to go up in weight, and I think that's more than people want to think about. And he goes from 154 to 168, right? That's 15 pounds, and I think down the line he just normally he might be able to rock with somebody and stay around for a while, but that kind of absorbed, and you have a guy that like Benavidez, David Benavidez, that comes after you, and these punches are starting to just start to chop you down, right? Bigger man, stronger, as far as the strength is concerned, and the way that he's punching is taking more of a toll on who's normally a smaller guy. And I think that's what Benavidez did. He just kind of walked him down, waited, knowing he could get him, and it got to a point where it was like, all right, we're gonna go ahead and make you stop this because I'm gonna impose my will because I'm a bigger guy in this situation, which is what he totally did. And that's a recipe for disaster when you can't keep fighting back as a smaller guy.
Yeah, he just overpowered him at one particular point, and it just seemed like he just blew his wad after that third round, and he didn't. It was a TKO. He didn't get out the corner for the end of the fight, and so Benavidez, I'm very impressed with his power, but to try to take it on the chin against Carnelo, and he's been saying, just like we heard one of the Charlo brothers said, I'm searching for this dude, but this dude is ducking me. Be careful what you ask for if you're coming in with your chin out and this guy has the power to knock you out. I'd like him as a fighter because he's a beast. He is a beast, and I like him as a fighter. But it'll be very interesting to see if they could hook that fight up, whether or not he could take those punches and then kind of power through like he did in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, and I understand that, but the one thing I say is, what really does Canelo have to gain by fighting David Benavidez?
True, true.
I mean, Benavidez talk about the straps and everything, but what does that mean to Canelo? If you look back on his legacy and he fights Benavidez, you go, "Ooh, yeah." And when that time he beat Benavidez, I'll say this: I think Benavidez kind of knows that his ship was opportunity to fight Canelo, if there was one, it's kind of sell right or selling because it has to make sense. I mean, are we going to stop the? I mean, Canelo makes money regardless of who he fights, right? But is it going to be a top notch fight when you watch him fight Benavidez? And that's the question. Does he earn it? Does he deserve it?
Right.
Perhaps. But is he going to get it? I'm not sure. Because Canelo's like, who is somebody gonna pay pay per view for that? I don't know about you. I wouldn't. I mean, I like Benavidez. I respect him, but you need to fight somebody else. Like you said, at 168, you play your cards right, you can fight Charlo. In fact, I would say, hey, if Jamal's getting coming back around and gonna be okay, fight him or fight somebody else at 168 to show Canelo that you are worthy.
I do see if Benavidez does fight Canelo, it will be a brawl. It will just be a brawl, and it'll be a short fight. It's
Yeah.
not going the distance. It's gonna be a brawl. It's like two prideful men who feel like they're the king at 168. It's not gonna be a boxing match at all.
No, I think you're absolutely right. But like you said, though, the whole point of it is if Canelo comes out and maybe came out the way against Charlo, the
Yeah,
younger Charlo, because he was smaller
yeah,
and he was a bigger guy, he had no fear. Will he do the same thing against David Benavidez?
right.
Don't know that. Don't
We
know that.
segue into the next fight. Jamal Charlo looked pretty good in this fight, coming back after a hiatus. And what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, well, Jose Benavidez Jr., his opponent, said this is the correct way for him. He's ready to come in, and Charlo was down for almost 2.5 years. He said he trained, but he really wasn't the best. And for that, keeping that in mind, I think he did a hell of a job
Yeah,
because he came in, you could tell he was rusty, but once he got comfortable, there was like second, maybe third round, he started feeling like the old Charlo.
right.
And he started letting them hands go and he started keeping Benavidez at bay. And granted, when you looked at it, you saw the body shots and Charlo took some punishment, but you saw the way that Jose Benavidez's face was getting marked up, and you saw his will to go forward started to dwindle, if you will, started to slow down where he wasn't coming forward anymore, and then Charlo started to go, okay, yeah, this is more or less like a tune-up. And, boy said, I'm not a tune-up. Like, but you are.
Yeah,
But the way that Jamal Charlo came back, got to say a lot because when they talked to him after the fight in the post, fight discussions, you could see the pain on his face, what he had been through. He's like, man, God got me. Y'all been through hell in a handbasket. It's almost as if he really didn't want to be there, but he knew he needed to take a step. And just the things he had talked about, what he survived and been through, and even in his own psyche,
yeah,
along with having at his house with his wife and children, whatever that's going on, you could just tell whatever journey he's on has been hard as hell
yeah.
mentally.
Yeah,
And
sometimes we think these famous athletes they don't have problems or issues,
dude,
and they do,
you
just
can
like
you
everybody
can see
else.
the pain in his face where he just literally wanted to start crying, man.
Yeah,
Because once he achieved it, it's like, okay, now I'm about to get back in here. Now I can do it. But prior to that, I was doing some soul searching for myself. And just because you're a great athlete and a great person, as far as you're an outstanding athlete and great person in boxing, in the ring that is, doesn't mean that your life is all peaches and cream. And just to see that look on his face was like, this is a tough dude, you know, Lions only, all that. This is a young, tough dude. But yeah, it was kind of rough to see that. But I'm happy he made it through and he got the victory.
yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Katie Taylor's win to get the against a fighter that beat her and avenged the loss, Chantel Cameron, and to win the undisputed super lightweight title. Congratulations to her. I don't know if you want to say anything about Katie Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, Katie Taylor's probably one still the top uh, athletes in her sport. She got the belt back from somebody that beat her previously. Be interested to see how much longer she's going to be around. Katie Taylor, that is, but I do want to see her even in a rematch or something where it makes sense, so we can jump back on board and really dive back into women's boxing.
All right. Last fight we're going to cover and talk about is Ryan Garcia. He's coming back off that loss of Tank Davis against Oscar Durante. And your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, this is the opportunity for Ryan Garcia. He wanted a fresh break, right? He has new management, he's over in new management. So it's an opportunity for him to start fresh, been in a new gym, and you're still fighting at 140. Okay, you fought Tank, you didn't beat Tank, but you tried to at least show that you're a decent talent still, because Tank Davis is more exceptional. He's in the top tier now of that division. So with that being said, it's a new way to show what he's capable of. So new trainer, new area, new everything. Like I said, new gym, and now a new chance, a new opportunity to really shows people that he's the guy or the guy they really thought he had potential to become.
Yeah, and hopefully he can learn from that loss from Tank Davis because Tank Davis really studied him, dissected him, and got to his weak point, which is that hook and getting into that liver. And he kind of played it great. But hopefully he'll learn with the new trainers, the new gym, and we'll see some good fights out of him. I haven't seen him on, social media, so maybe he's focusing in on boxing, and he'll come out with a great performance. He's Icewater. I'm Puma. This is the fight game.